Like many people, I expect, I have a number of faith heroes. Some of them are still alive and kicking. But you can read about one of my heroes in the Old Testament, in the story of Naaman. But Naaman's not my hero. Let's go back a bit. There are some powerful characters in this story. There's Naaman, who we are told was a great and successful soldier, and his boss, the king of Syria, definitely a Premier League nation back then. Then there's the king of Israel, more of a first division side, and their secret weapon, the famous prophet Elisha. Then there's a supporting cast of soldiers and servants, 30,000 pieces of silver, 6,000 pieces of gold, and even 10 changes of fine clothes. All these people and items play a key part in the story. Oh yes, and one other person. And the funny thing is, we don't even know her name. In 2 Kings chapter 5, we're introduced to Commander Naaman, his reputation and his skin disease. His wife, and here she comes, my hero, his wife's servant girl. That's all she was. And as far as we know, that's all she ever stayed, a servant girl. A slave really, because we're told that she was captured during a raid on Israel. She's not important, and so we're not even told her name. Not important in the eyes of the world, maybe, but absolutely essential to our story. We guess that the servant girl had become fond of her owners because verse 3 tells us that she says to her mistress, "I wish that my master could go to the prophet who lives in Samaria. He would cure him of his disease." Perhaps it was even a kind of pride in her old homeland. They don't make prophets like they do in Israel. Now all she's doing is thinking aloud, stating a simple belief. She's not insisting or shouting, just telling what she knows and what she believes to be true. And I don't expect for a minute she expected the story to pan out in the dramatic way it did. Now, we may not know her name, but the whole story revolves around that servant girl. She'd not expressed a desire to help. And remember, she took a risk of being punished for talking out of turn, or even worse, she risked being laughed at for being a well-meaning fool. And what do we think might have happened to her if Naaman had returned not having been cured? Our slave girl is a perfect example of a believer doing what she could, even though it didn't sound a lot in itself, and leaving the big stuff to God and his prophets. She's a perfect example of being a witness. Not everyone's called to be an evangelist. It would be a lopsided church if everyone was, but everyone is called to be a witness. To be a witness is one of the things we promise at our baptism and confirmation. Who knows what would have happened to Naaman if the servant girl had kept stum? We do know that because of her witness, there was a happy future for Naaman and family. I wonder what difference you could make to the lives of your friends and neighbours here in Cornwall if you, like our slave girl, recognise and take the opportunity to share, when asked, what you know about the story of Jesus and what he means to you. God knew exactly who she was, where she was. He knew everything about her, including her name. May God give us the strength to be faithful like our servant girl. Amen.